So, it's been a while. It's not a fantasy video, as everyone's used to, but the Lions is upon us. And today, I'm giving you my somewhat reaction to the British Lions squad announcement. One of the biggest moments in the calendar for rugby, every 4 years, and it's always full of surprises, debates, and big calls. Anyone remembers and was subscribed 4 years ago, this is essentially when I started to get quite a few decent views with the Lions and the announcements. So we're going to carry it on today. As always, if you do like the video, please drop a like, but use it more as a community. Comment down below your thoughts and any omissions, any picks you thought were particularly interesting. In the next video, we'll go through my starting 15 for the first test as well. So stay tuned. So, the Lions has finally been revealed, and there's a fair chunk to unpack. Andy Farrell has gone bold with his selections, and straight off the bat you can see influence on recent form, especially with that huge Irish contingent. 15 players from Ireland, and Leinster alone has 12 players, so it's practically a Leinster-Lions hybrid. But it's actually not overly whelming from Ireland. England actually have 13 players going, so compare that with the 15 from Ireland, it's actually not that bad of a gap. 8 from Scotland, and of course, unfortunately for Wales, it's only 2. Probably deserved. Faletau may be an omission there, but we can unpack that in later videos. One of the first announcements was obviously Maro Itoje as captain. Massive one. I think Itoje actually becomes England's first captain since Martin Johnson, all the way back in 2001, so a massive achievement, not only for him but for England as well. He's a player who has also been on the last 2 tours, so this will be his 3rd tour, making him, well, pretty reputable player, to be honest. One of the biggest picks, and the pick that got the loudest cheer when it was announced, was Henry Pollock. Just 20 years old, I think I'm right in saying he's only got 1 cap for England at the moment. He's burst onto the scene with the Saints, obviously, and had a massive part to play in Leinster's demise in the semi-final. He's pretty fearless and a character, which is exactly what rugby needs at the moment. But when I initially saw his name, I thought just definitely a midweek player. But listening to rugby and watching rugby this weekend, people like Brian O'Driscoll, Ben Kay have actually got him in starting 8, which is pretty crazy, in for the first test. So we'll have to see. Can he handle the pressure? Well, I definitely think so, but is it too far to put him at 8 over the likes of Ben Earl and Jack Conan? Well, we'll have to see. One of the biggest debates in terms of selection are going to be for fly half. We've got Marcus Smith, who maybe or maybe does not deserve it based on form this year. We got Finn Smith, definitely I think should be there, but maybe reputation eludes him at the moment. And you've got Finn Russell, who is I think 32 now and obviously got shed loads of experience. But all of those are pretty different in the way they play. I guess Marcus Smith more extravagant, Finn Russell also similar, but maybe Finn Smith is the best at controlling a team, maybe you say, or might be my English bias. And then you've got the centre debate. Hugh Jones is obviously a massive player, especially with Sione Tuipulotu coming back from injury. Is it too little too late for him though? If he was fit for the whole of Six Nations, would have given Scotland a better chance of succeeding in that tournament, but moreover, Tuipulotu and Jones surely would have been nailed on given their form over the last year or so. And then with every Lions tour, there are massive notable omissions. I think the biggest one this year is no fault of their own, but Caelan Doris. Pretty much, I wouldn't say a nailed on captain, but pretty highly likely for him to be captain of the Lions. Obviously, Leinster's 8 Ireland's captain as well. So Andy Farrell's captain at Ireland. So tough because the shoulder injury has ruled him out, and probably ruled him out, if not for the rest of the year, to be honest. So, is a shame, but in that sense, you've got the likes of Earl and Conan, and potentially Pollock to plug that gap. Now, some of the other notable omissions are pretty big names, but maybe not that surprising. So, first up, Owen Farrell, a player who's been on Lions tours and tests for over a decade. But Marcus Smith and Finn Smith have both pipped him. Would they have pipped him if he was still playing for Saracens and injury-free? Well, who knows? I guess a lot of factors that come into that. Some other players who are playing in France, obviously predominantly English, the likes of Jack Willis, who missed out. We've obviously got Tom Curry, who is England's pretty robust 7, but can anybody win and jackal the ball like Jack Willis does in World Rugby? Others that also spring to mind straight away are pretty much all English players, to be honest. Again, not trying to have a bias, but the whole Irish team did get picked. Jamie George as well, potentially. We've got Dan Sheehan, Cowan Dickey, so not bad players, of course, but Jamie George, I think, is just a good Lions tourist. Even if he doesn't start the tests, which probably not with Sheehan, I think he's just a good tourist and week in the week player, especially been there and done it as well. George Ford, potentially, but we've said Owen Farrell. I would pick Owen Farrell over George Ford. Then the likes of Darcy Graham. I think his form, especially with his injuries lately, has been very good. Potentially would have picked him over Van der Merwe, but I guess they are two total different players. Might just be what Andy Farrell is thinking, that he wants just a bit more pace and power, let's say. Looking at the tour, kicks off 28th of June. I actually think it kicks off sooner than that, with a game against Japan, I want to say, in Dublin. May have made that up, I don't think I have, but I think it kicks off then. The Tour of Australia kicks off end of June at least, and first Wallabies tests come in on the 19th of July, culminating in the final test on the 2nd of August. So we've got a pretty stacked July, I can't wait for it, and being a rugby fan, I think it's exactly what we need right now. Game seems a bit stale in terms of, well, characters. Pollock is a revolution, I think, especially for like the media, socials especially. So fair play to him. And yeah, nothing like a Lions tour to settle us all back in. If you did enjoy the video, please give it a like, but also comment down below with your initial thoughts. Thanks all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.